How's it going? Dave here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you 5 tips that you can use for writing better chord progressions. This video is not going to go into too much detail on music theory or techniques, so this is going to be useful for everybody. Tip number 1. So tip number 1 will be to store your ideas. So when you're writing a chord progression, something might not feel right, you might not be happy with it, but don't throw it away. Place it in a folder somewhere or on your computer or something, because it might come of use in the future. So I've got hundreds and hundreds of chord progressions that I've written, hundreds and hundreds of riffs, songs, ideas that I've written over the years, and a lot of them are just sitting dormant because I just haven't had the inspiration to continue those ideas. But every now and again I run through these past ideas, and then one of those ideas that I didn't think was so good before just clicks and it turns into a really amazing idea. So it's really important that you store your ideas and don't get rid of anything, even if you think it's really terrible, because it could turn into something really good. Tip number 2, tension and release. So in your chord progressions, you want to build tension as the chord progression progresses. It creates a sense of unrest. It needs to be resolved, hence the release, tension and release. So this is just really engaging for your listener and is just a really cool way of making your chord progression sound more interesting. So I've done a video on this, you can check it out there. It's about the particular chords you can use to create this effect in a major key. Tip number 3. So tip number 3 would be to try your ideas in different keys. So when you're writing a chord progression, you might be used to playing in the same key all the time. If you're in a metal band, you might be used to playing in E minor all the time. I know when I'm writing ideas, I kind of default to C major because it's real simple. But actually, when you're playing your ideas in different keys, it can give a whole different emotion based on what key you're playing. For example, when I'm playing a song in a minor key, I like to transpose it into C sharp minor because that seems like the saddest, darkest key for me if I'm writing a sad or dark song. Whereas I think it's been scientifically proven that F is the happiest key. So go try that, see if F is happier than any of the other major keys that you're playing in. Just take your chord progression and transpose it. For those of you who are not sure how to do that, what you can do is take a capo and just place it on any fret and play your chords starting from where the capo is, and that will change the key of your song. And just see which one sounds the best. Tip number 4. Tip number 4 is to not overthink things. If you've got a simple chord progression and you're wondering how you can make it sound more original or make it sound more complex, if it sounds good to start with, don't fix what isn't broken. The chord progression itself and the chords and the notes that you're using are just one small part of the whole picture. So there's so many more things you can change rather than the chords. If the chords serve the song, then maybe you can think of changing the dynamics, you can change the tone of your instrument, you can change some rhythmic elements of the chord progression. I don't know if I already mentioned it, I can't remember, but the tone of your instrument. Lots of different things you can change about the chord progression without actually changing the chords themselves and the notes that are being played in the chords. So give that a go, and you might find that your simple chord progression is actually fine for what you're doing. Tip number 5. Tip number 5 would be to study other people's chord progressions. For me personally, I've been listening to a lot of Stevie Wonder songs recently because he just uses some really great outlandish chord progressions that are really cool. And like some of the techniques he uses are like things that I already know, but I've not heard them in that particular context before. And then when I hear in that context, I'm like, oh, that sounds really cool if I use that chord progression technique in that particular way. And then I can apply that into my own playing. And it's a lot better than sometimes going to a YouTube video and saying, how do I write a chord progression in this technique? Sometimes it's better to just go straight to the source of a song where it's been used and see in context how it will work. Try that out. Apply other people's chord progressions to your songs, or not their chord progressions, but elements of their chord progressions, and see how that works out for you. So those have been my 5 tips. If you enjoyed the video, then please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you've got any other video suggestions, let me know in the comments too. I'll see you in the next video.